guys, and welcome back. So in today's video we are going to be taking a look at my newest sketchbook. In this case that is a Canson XL mixed media. If you've heard about these before and have never tried it, this is my official recommendation to give it a go because I really like the paper and it handles everything it says it does. Acrylic, watercolor, pen and pencil. What more could you ask for? This one's 60 pages, 7 by 10 inches. Let's get right into it. So this is a character design that I did. He was actually in a previous video, and this was a snippet from that fiction piece that I was talking about that I wrote for class for this character. So yeah, I started this sketchbook when I was in Florida in early March visiting my grandmother with my mom. So that was really fun. I painted this in her sunroom with my Primo watercolors and a couple mixed media things that I happen to have with me, but yeah, I like how it turned out. Now we've got more Florida drawings that I then finished up at home. This is actually a sign from this photo from a pizza place that we walked by, I think, but I thought the design of the logo was really interesting, and in real life obviously it was blue and I liked that. I wanted to try and do more busy sketchbook pages because I feel like I did that a lot in my previous Canson XL sketchbook, and I like the vibe of it. I think it's neat. And so we've got a couple of portraits here with some backgrounds, some mouth studies. These are candies from Japan in Epcot, and then these are two little figurines from Epcot too with some Posca pens. This page I drew a bunch of random characters and characters from some friends on Instagram. This one is Lexi's, this is Tessa's, who goes by Illustessa on Instagram. Give her a follow, please, because her work is amazing. But yeah, for these, this was the first one I did, and I had seen some negative shape work recently that I wanted to try and do, so the whole idea was basically to use the one color to sketch with, and then the second one to add more definition, I guess, while still only staying in that silhouette. And then like a couple just like blob characters that I outlined afterward, depending on what shapes I ended up getting. And then, obviously, an excuse to use my glitter glue, because if you don't include glitter glue in your sketchbook, then you're really just missing out. And then here, we have some Harry Potter duels. I was doing these during a Zoom meeting for a fantasy class that I was taking. It was a fantasy writing class, and we were doing Harry Potter week, and so we all came in costume. And, you know, why take notes when you can just draw on your sketchbook, like the cool kids do? So thus marks the beginning of my figure drawing studies. When we went online, I actually had to do figure drawing work, but then turn it in online. So it didn't really make sense, but I asked friends and everybody on Instagram to send me pictures of themselves, like a selfie or a graduation photo, what have you, and I would draw them. We had to do one a day for every week that we had class, and so this is of my friend Rebecca. This is Prismacolor Color Erase, and then this is extra titanium white Liquitex. This is of my friend Tegan. I had done a different one before this in another sketchbook of mine that didn't turn out at all, and so I redid it here with some more definition on the colors. And we've never actually met in person, even though we go to the same school, so hi Tegan, if you're watching this, I hope we get to meet someday. This is another one of Rebecca because she was awesome and submitted multiple photos. This one turned out really graphic because of the harsh shading in the actual photo she sent, but I like it. I think it's neat. And these were all posted on Canvas for everyone to critique. So these ones are from an art Zoom that I held, and Robin and I were hanging out and talking about like Pagey World and stuff. Throw me a hello in the comments if you were on Pagey World, because that's really where all the cool kids are from at this point. And we were talking about old OCs and stuff, and so I drew Biddy and Lyle in pen, which is a thing that I used to do all the time back in those days, and like this is highlighter, and we got some Copic, some Prismacolor, and then some like Sharpie, and then this was like a Jelly Roll shadow experiment to see if they would blend, which they do. This was, I think, a figure sketch. I'm not really sure what the point of this was, but I never finished it because I didn't like the way it was turning out. This one was a Copic piece of a character that I've done before on this channel, so if you're into that, I will put up his last video. I think I did my watercolor unboxing with him, but had some fun trying to define my background style in this one and kind of filling in the blanks of what the viewer can see on those leaves, so it reads as a bush, but didn't take me a huge amount of time. So for this one, this was not supposed to be Tyrion, one of the main characters from that webcomic I was working on, but it really just ended up looking like him. This was right around the time that I had gotten my iPad and was using Procreate, and so I was drawing him and the other comic characters a whole lot, and so we just went with it, and this is like a modern, horribly 80s hair looking Tyrion. And then on the bottom here I have a sketch, I guess, an illustration that I did of a random character based on a couple designs I had seen recently that I wanted to try out in my style, like a couple different faces I had seen. I was like, okay, how would I do that if I was going to draw that? And so I did. We started off doing this one in Prismacolor Color Erase colored pencil, and then kind of built it up naturally in Copic and then lined afterwards. I liked the process a whole lot, and it was very reminiscent of how I used to do backgrounds early on in this channel, where you use Copic and just kind of layer up the ink to get the right colors, but it requires a lot of thinking as you're working, and personally, like, I'd enjoy it, but I feel like I need to be really thinking about it as I'm working on it, where my watercolor Copic method, like, you're basically just saturating the areas you've already colored, so food for thought. But I can make a video on this technique if you'd be interested in seeing it at some point. Like, these are all just done with the chisel side of the Copic in straight lines. I also wanted to play with the lighting here, and I like it. I'd like to try it again, and I think I'd like to draw him again. And then here's the completely required page of, at this point, of Manga sketches, expressions that I don't finish ever, because I've had one of these in like my last couple of sketchbooks and they never get finished, so I should have known that was coming. Now we have some sketches of my boy Varant. He's also from the comic, but I did these ones while I was writing. I had my sketchbook with me while I was thinking of stuff, and I just have fun designing his outfits because I make something as extra as possible and then realize, yeah, that could still work. And then I liked how the headshot came out because I think it just looks nice. And also I needed to find a better way to draw his hair from the side, because before this I was just having these curly cues come off the back, like they're changing direction every time he changes direction, so yay, comic things. Then we've got some more comic sketches. This is ballpoint pen and some random alcohol markers that I keep in my pencil case. We've got a pencil sketch. We have the sketches for a piece that I posted earlier on the channel. I think I might have already plugged it with the first page, but yeah, if you want to take a look and see how these turned out, I have that video up in the cards. We have some pen sketches. This is supposed to be him again, and I never rendered it anymore because I got an idea for another comic character's design, and I've been trying to figure out him for a while, so I was excited about that. And then this is that purple pen that I got when I was on that trip to see my grandmother. The pencil case is right here, and I'm trying to see if I can find it in the next 8 seconds because I really want to show it to you. It's the brush version of a zebra mild liner. So this end is a brush tip, and this end's a bullet tip, and then it's water soluble, so you can like paint out and do like shadows and stuff, which I think is cool. I haven't used it nearly as much as I said I would when I got it, but for stuff like this I think it's neat, because sometimes this gray aquash is too dark. Some pen sketches and... is that graphite? No, that's all pen. Some pen sketches for a piece that I want to make. Haven't made it yet, but it would be an acrylic painting. Now we're cutting off the top. Gee whiz. But yeah, I'm thinking like a black background and then the figure in like a pale whitish pink, but instead of having the saturation of shadows be like a darker color, I wanted to do that thing where you just make the shadows more saturated, so it would be like a really bright pink. Thoughts? And then, okay, I tried to do a pen sketch but using a different color, and it didn't go very well. This is supposed to be Anne Hathaway from that one picture right here that I've saved on Pinterest. I think it's from a meme. At the time I'm recording this, I think it's a meme. You see it anyway. But it did not go very well. I was hoping I would be able to transfer over my figure drawing skills into pen. I cannot. So I did this one afterwards, inspired by a random photo on Pinterest. I'll just, you know what, I don't want to spin the sketchbook, so we'll just flip the video for a second. You like it? I like it too. And then I think, oh, I sketched that with the same Staedtler Triplus fine liners, and so those are water soluble, so the shadows are all from that, and then the purple is from that zebra mild liner. It looks all kind of melty and cool. I should use that again. I like the way that turned out. So we have another sketch of Manga. This one's a Prismacolor one again. comic planning that I'm gonna blur out because it contains spoilers. Even more spoilers. Ooh, here we have an angsty little comic I made in July. That's fun. That's also Prismacolor and lavender. Okay, this is actually not an angsty thing. Just, like, I've been really digging on the Crane Wives at the time that I was making these. Here's a sketch that didn't end up turning out to be anything. I really liked the way it had started and desperately tried to think of some way to finish it off, and then couldn't. And so now we have this. More spoilers. Okay, this isn't really a spoiler. It's just it just didn't turn out. I was having an off day. Here's a drawing of Robin's character Francine, and I like the way it turned out. This was for Art Fight in the summertime. When did I make this? July. God. I did a bunch of Art Fight stuff and already forgot when it was. But did you do Art Fight this year? It's basically like an art trade thing that you do with people you both know and don't know. It's very cool. You just draw each other's characters, basically. But yeah, this was one of the traditional ones that I did. This is in Copic marker and Prismacolor marker. And I don't know how, but there's like a smudge that ended up here and like here. I'm not sure what it's from. So when I uploaded this to Art Fight, I had to go into Procreate first and like edit out all the smudges and stuff. But yeah, Robin ended up really liking it, and Francine was a blast to draw, so I had fun.
More spoilers!
Then we got some hand studies. I subscribed to Starbite's Patreon for, I think, 1 or 2 months this summer, and so my thing was I set the filter feed on Patreon to oldest to newest and was doing something inspired by stuff on his feed, like, once a day, and so he did like some anatomical studies, and I was like, okay, great, what am I gonna do? And then there was also a piece that he did with a green background, and I was like, okay, I'm gonna do these hand studies. So these are Posca, and I was wet into wet blending with the Poscas, which I think turned out really cool. I figured out that if you use the white one to blend out the other colors before they're just dry, you get this kind of cool painterly effect, and so I really like how that turned out. I thought about going back in over this actually and doing like a line art, but I think they're cool, and these are all referenced from me just posing at the time. And then the background is craft paint, and then I did some detailing on the sweater that I was wearing too. I really like this page. I think it's neat. And then I did 2 days, exactly 2, of outfit of the day sketches. You know, of course you're like, I'm gonna do so many of these and it's gonna be a whole thing on Instagram, and then you never do them. That was me. And so I thought I looked cute for a total of 2 days, and I wanted to save my outfits for the world to see. I got a black skirt. It's very big and I like it a lot. Also, I have bangs now. Insert current photo of me because you haven't seen me with bangs yet. But yeah, I also wear these platform sandals around all the time in the summer. It's very fun. We have fun here. We have some sketches done in Crayola colored pencil. And so these two are supposed to be me, and gosh, I don't like the sound effects that I added, so they're blurred out, but gee whiz, I think they look like me, like as a stylized character, and I was gonna do something with that, and then I just tried to draw like a random couple of characters down here, and those didn't turn out at all, and so then I never revisited this. Fun times. I don't know, I think it'd be kind of cool to go back and do this again, because I think my little caricature of myself could be good on a business card. And then I had a Zoom with my Yellow Zone and Food and Wine fam. We basically, anyone who worked there during 2019 at Food and Wine got on the Zoom, and we all hung out for like a couple of hours, and I drew. Here's a really horrible little rat to be like representation of Remy, my old boss. And then we got like a chili pepper and some cheese bread. So then down at the bottom we've got more Starbite studies. These ones are of legs, and these ones are referenced from this book, and I will also put it down in the description box. It's one that I've had forever from my teenage art days. And yeah, we got some Posca pen going on for the different muscle groups, and then the neon pink, most notably here on the bum, is this pen, which I also bought in Florida. It is a Melky Pop from Pentel in pink, I think. But yeah, I think it's really neon, and I haven't used it as much as I want to. Then we've got this colored pencil doodle that I posted to Instagram, and it did really well. So thank you for that. I kind of wish I'd filmed it. But yeah, this is just with 3 random colored pencils that I happen to keep in a jar next to my desk. It's actually there right now. You just can't see it, but you might notice it in the intro of a few of my videos. And yeah, it's just with 3 colors and a random kind of character design off the top of my head, and I liked the way it turned out. I liked it so much that I never did it again, so maybe in my next sketchbook. And then I was trying to do I was planning for my Cgma assignments. It took me a minute there to remember what this was of. But we had to do a couple drawings of rooms, and so I was just doing floor plan stuff to get a cool composition. And then so here we've got a sketch of one of my characters that I was doing one night, and it's always such a bummer to have to cover up legs that you draw and you think they look nice with a skirt, so I left them, but that means I never finished this too because she's not really the type to not wear a skirt or pants or something. So, yeah, never saw the light of day, but then I watched Honey, I Shrunk the Kids for the first time and decided to draw, oh boy, what was the daughter's name? I do not remember off the top of my head. Well, I drew the daughter because I thought her outfit was cool, and I thought she was cool, and this was the night that I realized I suddenly knew how to ink with the Pentel Pocket brush pen, which I've always had trouble with. But I really liked the way this turned out, and I had a lot of fun doing it. Started to draw a scene from one of our drives. We take family drives, have been during quarantine. It's fun stuff. And then I drew a little me in my dress that I was wearing that day because I thought it might be fun. And then I didn't add anything else, so now it just looks sad. So this was originally just a little unfinished pencil sketch, but the other day I finished up a painting and I actually just use the extra acrylic for this because I didn't want to waste anything, and it was already mixed. I couldn't really put it back in the tubes, so I painted over the figure first and then the background, and then added some detailing with some pigment liners and is this a white gel pen? Yeah, it's a white gel pen, and then my really small Posca, like the flesh toned tiny one, to do a couple of these highlighting things. And then I did quotes from the Taylor Swift song Exile with Bon Iver, because it slaps, and then I have the date written down here, and some detailing in Posca pen to fill up the space, washi tape to add something else, but since I was already actually done this sketchbook at the time that I drew this, I didn't go back and add anything. Now we've got some more Cgma assignment planning and thumbnailing. I liked this one so much that I actually just took a picture of it and directly traced over it in Procreate and did my subsequent sketches and the final piece. Here's the final piece if you'd like to see it, but I'm actually going to do a compilation of my assignments because I have all the footage because it's done in Procreate. It automatically saves a time lapse for you, and so I think I'm probably just going to do a video with all of that, or by assignment maybe. Let me know if you'd like to see that or what parts of that you'd like to see. But yeah, this is that my liner again. This is my liner but a regular one. Pencil, pencil, and then I thought of this design, but I didn't end up using it for the assignment. It's comic stuff, and I still want to draw it because I think it'll be cool. Here we've got some concepts for a couple of new characters that I was working on in August, and these are ballpoint pen sketches with a little bit of aquash detailing. Obviously, since these are ballpoint pen, these are very off the cuff with very little editing, and so I look forward to making better versions of these that aren't so weirdly extra. Of course I want them to be extra, but in a aesthetic sort of way, not just a random way. I'm not sure what's going on here, why this guy has boxes around his feet, but it makes his shoes look extra jazzy. This was another Posca thing. I think it was originally supposed to be colored pencil, and then I didn't like the way it was turning out, so I went over it with Posca to do the shading and stuff, and I think it's cool. She kind of reminds me of that one Muppet that plays the drums. Does she play the drums? You know the one I'm talking about, right? I'm not sure why she gives me that vibe. Maybe it's the blue hair, yellow skin, but yeah, it's weirdly pop arty, comic booky, and avant-garde, but not in ways that work together. Also, she's got a receding hairline. It's just not going well, and that's why it's not. That's a joke. I have no idea why it says not in the background. I think I just wanted to put something in and wasn't sure what. But yeah, I put some washi tape along the bottom again. This was actually before the other one, but Yeah, I never went in and drew anything else. I think it's because I just didn't like this page. We've got another Prismacolor sketch. Wow! And then, whoa, this is actually my boy Ken. He's one of my new characters, and this was my first attempt at drawing him. I had done like a little written piece for him previously, but these are ballpoint pen and colored pencil. I believe this is Prismacolor and that's Crayola because those are random colors. But yeah, I actually ended up doing a full design for him, and those, I have a headshot and a full body, and I think those will be in a Procreate video as well. This was for assignment number 7 at Cgma, and so it was supposed to be a 6-panel sequence, 6-shot sequence, like from a movie or something, but you're making it up. An original 6-shot sequence would have been a faster way to say that. And now you've heard it. So, yeah, I paneled out a couple things I thought might be fun, tried to draw bigger to get more ideas. It didn't really help. And then down here is the first sketch of, I don't know, character that's also in his story, because I was just playing with their like silhouette designs. But yeah, this page is more not knowing what to draw for that assignment and drawing a bunch of random heads. This one looks like Tyrion, but with like a weird side shave thing, so that's kind of fun. And then this guy looks like the Hallmark Presents version of him, or maybe he's an actor and playing a different character, but yeah, and then these were turning out really funky. And a couple comic concepts that actually ended up becoming an actual comic, which is also going to be a video. You're not even ready for the amount of videos that are going to be hitting this channel, you know? This was a Copic drawing that I was doing one night that also did really well on Instagram. So once again, thank you to the cool cats over on Instagram. I had a vision for this piece, I knew what I wanted, and then I made it, which is neat. And also now I've got this character, Neato Keen. And I'm gonna draw him again, I think. But yeah, I really just wanted to see how anime we could push it pretty far. But yeah, and also I did the hair much more anime than I have in a long time, and you know what, now is the time to bring the anime hair back, because there's too many bad things happening in the world. We can all use a little bit more overzealous anime hair. And now we've got more of me trying to think of like personal piece concepts, because I realized that I hadn't made a personal piece since prior to March, so that's neat. And so the composition is weird. I liked that one, but I never actually painted it because the colors would have been too difficult. I drew this and didn't know what I was doing, and then I was like, wait a minute. That's it. And so I painted a whole piece just based on that, and ended up completely changing it. What's funny is that you can't see this, but right now, actually, the sketch that I did on computer paper, well, printed on computer paper after scanning it, I digress, is actually hanging to block the light from over there, because otherwise there's a huge shadow, but funny things. Over here we've got some more comic concepts that could be spoilers if you look at it for too long, so I'm just going to blur out one corner of this, but yeah. It's also fun to like design all these outfits because I'm not doing a specific time period because it's fantasy, and so finding the balance between all of my different aesthetic elements for each area of the world that I'm making up is very cool and fun. Also stressful, but cool and fun. And then this is aquash and pencil again. We've got even more character exploration for the comics, except this time I couldn't get the guy's design. So, like, I like it, but it's not what I need. If if you're following the comic account on Instagram, you know what's happening, but yeah. Over here, I have started plans for a zine collection. I want to make little how-to-art zines. That's not going to be the name of it, but like watercolor, beginner basics and stuff, because I know that's something I would have really liked. Even now, like if you had a zine at your table that was just like little drawings of art supplies and like basic techniques, I just love looking at stuff like that. And so I thought it might be cool to make something like that for some time when conventions happen again, but you feel me. We've got a Prismacolor sketch of my girl Meika using Nazarine's design from our art trade a year, 2 years ago. But yeah, I still really like the design and I draw it sometimes because it makes me happy. Another sketch for the comic because that's really all I've drawn for the past 2 years, which is cool. a sketch that I was doing while... Was I on the phone with Tessa during this? Yes, I was on the phone with Tessa while I was drawing this, and I don't like how it turned out. The face has promise, but I gave up on it. And then, ta-da! What do you do when your computer stops working and you have to wait for it to update for like 4 hours? You carve the stamp you've been meaning to carve, of course, and so this is my first attempt at design, and this is my second one that I then went over with a thick micron and decided on what I wanted to make, and then I carved a stamp, and here's the stamp being used. At first there was all these like little bits around the edges, and then so I carved those off and then tried again. Woohoo! And then I was also on the phone with Apple Support during all this, which was also pretty cool. Posca, because I like that color combo. And then this was the last Prismacolor sketch in the sketchbook. Aww. And yeah, I think I still want to finish it. I think like little scenes in Copic in sketchbooks are my favorite thing to look at, but not my favorite thing to make. I gotta be in the right mood for it, but yeah, I designed this guy and I think he looks cool, and I want to do like a window behind him because they're in a room with a cool view. And then this was the last big piece that I made. This is a graphite sketch with some ink around it because there's a lot of ink drawing going around right now. If you're doing Inktober or not, it just feels like the time of year to use ink, and so I did an ink background and some Jelly Roll shadow vines based on this pattern that I made up when I was in driver's ed in high school. I was doodling in the margins of my driver's safety manual. Of course I was taking notes also, but yeah, I designed this little leaf pattern and was making it up on the fly here again, and I was like, wait a minute, that's just a better version of that pattern. And so I really like it a lot, and it just made me happy to be able to do a figure drawing style made up character. And this actually, wasn't thinking this when I drew it, but it really reminds me of the character in this video. If you haven't seen it or weren't around when I first posted it, but yeah. I was looking through my old videos the other day and like deleting some that no longer need to exist on the internet, but boy, like, I used to make a lot of videos. That's kind of cool. But yeah, this is the last page. More wasted acrylic just off to the side here. It kind of looks like the ocean, but it's like blood and sand and like a body. I don't know. It's fine. This is all fine. I think this was me trying to explain a jumper that I wanted. I'm not sure what you would call this. A hood suit. All I know is that it looks very comfortable. And then here's a penguin and my name written by my mom in that zebra mildliner, because I think we must have been somewhere and she wanted to try it. Probably at my grandmother's kitchen counter for that 1 week we were there. But yeah, I think the sketchbook turned out super cool. Oh, forbidden back cover where I test things. This is, yeah, it is what it is. But I hope you enjoyed that sketchbook tour. I hope you thought it was super cool, and I will have another one at some point. I just started my next one, and it's all gonna be super duper fine, super cool and awesome. Yeah, I'll have lots of new videos coming soon. As you heard, got lots of old videos for you to take a look at if you're into that. But if you want to stick around, feel free to like, subscribe, and ring that bell to get those notifications. That's not normally part of my outro, but you know what? Sometimes the spice is right and you gotta go for it. I'll see you in the next one. I'm probably already leading into the end card now, but keep it cool and I will see you then. Bye! Sketchbook. So in today's video, we're going to take... So first page, we have a character design that's getting cut off. Hang on. We'll do some on-the-fly camera adjusting. Skirt. Look at that. Wow, a real professional. And I feel like we're still out of frame a little bit, so we're just going to scoot. Okay? But yeah. And here's another one that I'm not sharing with the internet, but thank you for asking. Which... That's unexpected. Even my phone. That was my mom's phone. Whew, okay, that was a telemarketer. Never a dull moment over here, huh? Inspired by one of my friend...